Hello, ladies. We shouldn't start with ladies because probably no ladies listen to this.
No.
Hello, gentlemen. Welcome to the FullTimePodcast. Back after a while. Don't even know what episode this is.
Yeah, 3 months. 3 months you've been away.
3 months.
Good to be back.
Or 2. It's either or. It's still been a long time, and for the reason for that, just couldn't be bothered.
Yeah,
Just
be
honestly
honest.
couldn't be
Fair
bothered.
play to you. I don't.
That, and I just didn't really want to do YouTube stuff. Just kind of taking a break because summer was just starting, and I kind of want to just relax. Not that YouTube is really a big pressure, but like when I find when I'm doing YouTube, if
You really like to get into it.
I do when I get into it, yeah. But then if I do it for too long, it becomes more of like it doesn't become as much of a hobby. It becomes more like a chore to do for me. So I kind of wanted to take the break just so when I come back, I'd be like 100% at it again, and have got video ideas lined up. So hopefully they will prevail. Because the way I do videos, I'm like an absolute perfectionist, which is a bad thing. I will point out, like being a perfectionist is not the most best thing to do when you're in YouTube, because once you're starting off, it's a really bad mentality to have. You just need to be getting content out there as quick as possible. Well, not as quick, but as good, like as best of content as you can at the time.
Yeah.
It's kind of just like I'm gonna try and just go by that, just put out content and get better as we go along.
And what do you have planned for your content then?
Well, I can't say that because it needs to be kept hush hush so I can put it up. But if it won't be all football stuff. I think I'm planning on changing my channel name.
Oh.
But won't reveal that just yet. In terms of what video I have coming up, hopefully on Thursday, since the Call of Duty, the new World War II game, the the Zombies game, the trailer got leaked for that. So it does officially release on Thursday, so I don't want to upload a review on it before then because I want to use bits from the actual trailer, so it could get copyright strike because it's not officially out yet. So I'm gonna wait until that, but I will have the video pre-recorded, so it should be out on Thursday. So hopefully I'll have something up for that. If not, it's probably just I've forgotten again. Anyway, we'll see. This is, of course, not a Call of Duty podcast. This is a football podcast, so let's get into what we're going to be talking about with football this week.
Sometimes it's quite a random podcast as well, though. We just talk about anything sometimes.
Yeah, I suppose. But the main premise of it is football. Let's get on to what we're going to talk about this week. This week I want to talk about transfers.
Actually, no. Before we get into all the transfers, right? Have you been keeping an eye at the CONCACAF Gold Cup at all?
No.
Of course not. Anyone interested in the CONCACAF Gold Cup? French Guinea played a game, right? And they played Florent Malouda.
Alright, two well-known teams.
No. French Guinea are just the country, like. But do you not understand?
Not a clue.
Florent Malouda had 80 caps for France.
Fair enough.
And French Guinea played him in a CONCACAF Gold Cup game. Now the thing is, right? I had no idea why they did it, because in the end they had to forfeit the game instead of getting a draw. I was quite lost for words, and so were most of the people who were reporting on the CONCACAF Gold Cup, and anyone who was interested in the CONCACAF Gold Cup. It's quite an odd decision. Malouda had made 80 caps for France, but he was born in the French Guinea, I think, or his parents were there. But a lot of the French players that have made appearances for France are of French Guinean descent or French Guinean origin. I have no idea if I'm pronouncing Guinean right, or it's Guinea or something like that.
Guinean, I don't know.
Yeah, but anyway, it was kind of a strange thing. And also in the CONCACAF Gold Cup, they played 2 games in the same stadium for some reason. I think that is pretty cool, because it looks like the attendances would be terrible if they didn't. It's a great idea for it to try get people going to the games. Definitely wouldn't work for the Euros, the Copa America. I'm not sure about the African Cup of Nations, because usually attendances are quite good for that. But some of these stadiums, like there was a game in Houston, a couple of games in Houston, the stadiums were half empty. Like there was literally should have put them in smaller stadiums. But they do have to get used out of the stadiums, have to make it a big occasion. But yeah, that French Guinea thing was really weird. Also, Mexico made it through with the mighty L3. If you guys have been following me on social media or whatever, I support them throughout the Confederations Cup, but they got knocked out by Portugal. Yeah, no, they didn't get knocked out by Portugal. They knocked out by Germany, but lost the third and fourth playoffs to Portugal, and are now through to the next round of the Gold Cup. So I'm a happy man right now. The Confederations Cup.
The thing I don't get is how Malouda even managed to, in the first place, even get into that squad. Like, how did nobody pick up on it before the game started?
Yeah, that's what I'm getting. Should they not, should it be just a case of Malouda, you cannot play, instead of letting him play and then forfeiting the game?
Yeah, because I can understand it maybe if he had like 1 or 2 caps for France and they were just like, oh, we didn't know this or whatever. But like he's got 80 caps, as you said. Like this should be pretty well known. Like he was a big player. It still is, well, to a certain extent, people would still.
He's still well known, but he's not like as big a player as he was.
Yeah, he's not as good as he used to be. But people should still know this. I think they were just trying to get away with it. I think they were just hoping nobody would notice.
I don't think they were trying to get away with it. I think they were just doing it for some reason. Like, I'm not even going to say if anyone knows anything of French Guinea because they probably don't. But I'm absolutely baffled by it, considering the draw would have done them good instead of losing, because French Guinea are kind of trying to come up as a footballing nation, and doing idiotic things like that just, set them back so much.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I suppose. There's nothing really else we can add to that, really. It's just kind of a thing that happened. Let's get into the transfers anyways. I want to talk about just transfers from all across the top 5 leagues, really, because I haven't really been paying attention outside of that. But the teams I want to look out for this year that might have been, like something you wouldn't really expect it to have done quite well in the transfer window.
Yeah.
Like AC Milan, out of nowhere, have signed some of the best players they possibly could have. Like they signed Andre Silva from Porto.
Yeah.
He's an up and coming Portuguese talent.
Forgot about him actually.
Yeah, unbelievable. Like Carlos Bacca, very good striker for them, but he's obviously getting old, and they've got a really good replacement in him now. They've also brought in, they've got Donnarumma signed on a contract, which is amazing. For some reason how they managed to get that done. They've also
He's still got a Juve.
Yes, but they've still got to tie down, and they'll end up getting more money if he does end up going. They've also tied down, for some mad reason, they've managed to sign Leonardo Bonucci for 35 million, considering Chelsea were trying to bid 60 million for him.
Forget Leonardo Bonucci, Fabio Borini. He's going to lead AC Milan to Scudetto glory. They'll be winning their 19th Scudetto at the end of the year. But there's certain people in the world be like, oh, you're buying your success. We have history. You can watch our success on video. But no, you have to adapt to the times, man. Come on.
Fair, AC Milan have a big history behind them as well, anyways.
Yeah,
so
I know, but they're not doing well currently. People say, oh, now they're just buying trophies. So hold on, what happens to the football fans that think that like that, right? When you have history, you have loads of money.
You just stay in the past and don't adapt to the future.
Maybe their brains just crack, and they just cease to exist.
The thing I don't get is though, there's no winning with being a football fan. Either you're with a bad team that doesn't win anything, or if you somehow manage to support a good team, you're just considered a glory supporter and you bought the title. So there's no in between. There's no we're actually just, there's no team that everyone's just like, yeah, they're doing it right. Yeah, there's no team that does that, because you spend over 30 million, buying the league. Who cares? 30 million is like £2 now. Yeah. Have you seen the amount of players that are going for 30 million?
And you know what really pisses me off, and I say it pisses off a lot of fans, when they say your club has no history. That's bollocks. That's absolutely. It might not be Chelsea might not have the history of Liverpool and Man United, but there's history there. We were the second. No, we're probably not third. We were the third. I forgot about all Liverpool's European Cups. But we were the third team. No, I think we were actually the second. Help me out on that. Chelsea won the Cup Winners' Cup in 1971 against that mighty Real Madrid side. And you're telling us we don't have history. We won the FA Cup in 1970. We won a couple of League Cups as well. And I'm told we don't have history. Just because it's not as glamorous doesn't mean you don't have history. And it really pisses me off even more when they say City have no history. City are the yo-yo club. They invented yo-yo club bouncing up and down the leagues. City were famous for being that yo-yo team. I know that's not something to be happy about. But people say these teams have no history. Bollocks, mate. Yeah. You have no idea what you're talking about when you say, oh, this team has no history. This team has no history. It just really pisses me off. And some clubs even use their history to say, come support us. I've said this to a couple of people already. I know I'm not trying to slag anything. Please don't take this as offensive. If you do, report me or whatever. But Liverpool try use the Hillsborough thing to get people to support them. I think that's not great. As in, yes, you see
wait, where have you seen this?
Yeah, but it's like, oh, we had feel sorry for us type thing. Come support us during the biggest football family in the world. It was a massive tragedy. Should have never happened. Wasn't the Liverpool fans' fault whatsoever. It was the police that were policing the game. Didn't give a shit. But I don't think it should be used in the way. Yes, it should be, they should be honouring the victims. but there's a stage where it's commercialized to a sense.
Well, I don't know if I'd agree with that fully. I don't think I've ever seen a Liverpool fan who's told me like, "Oh, Hillsborough's been so bad, you should come support us." I mean, like obviously in that, like not obviously in those words, but like in the sense I don't think anyone has tried to get me to pity support any team. The way it looks at the moment is the way people look at teams that, oh, you bought your success. They're really the teams that are envious of the money that we have. If they, like, and to be fair, money can be spent poorly as well. You look at teams like QPR who spend money every time they come to the Premier League and they just sink straight away because they don't spend it well.
QPR are the 5th highest team in debt.
Exactly.
And how come their supporters aren't glorious? How come their supporters aren't like, people aren't going like, oh, you're buying all this shit. But like, because they spend the money badly, no one cares.
Yeah.
It's the same with Arsenal. Like, Arsenal bought Ozil for what, 42.8 million, and he's turned out okay. He hasn't been the world beater everyone thought he would. He's been good.
Mm-hmm. To be fair though, if I was to pay 42 million for him now, that would be a bit of a steal. Like, considering Antonio Rudiger's gone to Chelsea for 35 million.
Yeah.
Kyle Walker's now the most expensive defender, 55 million.
Kyle Walker for 55 million.
I'm just sorry, but the defenders I see out in the world, I just don't see Kyle Walker as the most expensive out of all of them.
No, definitely
There's
not.
what else is there as well? Yeah, the way I see it is like people who say that clubs buy the league are the clubs that just their management, they're so frustrated with it because they don't spend money, and then when they do spend money, they spend it on players that are just bang average.
That reminds me, right? Arsenal fans especially, right, will give out about buying the league.
Mm-hmm.
Yet they're begging to spend some money.
Yeah, all the time. Like, they've spent a new transfer record fee on Lacazette.
In fairness, right, I would like Chelsea to use some of their youth. First of all, I'd just like to say RIP to Ruben Loftus-Cheek. He will never play for Chelsea again because he's gone on loan. RIP to, well, actually Nathaniel Chalaba has been sold for 5 million. That's sad as well.
Yeah.
There's someone else has gone on loan that I really didn't want to go on
Ake's
loan.
left as well.
Oh yeah,
And
Ake.
Tammy Abraham's gone on loan to Swansea.
He'll be allowed to play for Chelsea. Ake is gone for some ridiculous reason. We have a buyback clause, but still, I wouldn't have sold Ake.
The thing is, like, when people talk about Chelsea and they try to say that Chelsea aren't a great club, they always use the youth thing as sort of an excuse. But the thing is, all Chelsea fans agree with that. We don't like the fact that we send our players out on loan, and to use that as an excuse that why you shouldn't support our club is a bit stupid, really.
But it's a great business. I must admit, it's a fantastic business idea.
It is, but
Chelsea
we
had
shouldn't really be thinking of that.
Chelsea had something like over 30 players out on loan, right? With clubs paying for these players' loans, right?
Mm-hmm.
For these wages, getting loan fees, and in the end, right? This is to stay within financial fair play, right? And in the end, if these players do well, like Lukaku, sell them on for like 30 million.
Yeah. The thing that, like,
we usually make a profit on our players, even with Kevin De Bruyne. I know,
Yeah.
I know we sold him for a lot less than like it was probably worth.
Mhm.
We still made a profit on him. Even when we sold Salah, I think when the Liverpool deal went in, I think we made something like between 2 and 4 million
Yeah.
from the Liverpool deal.
The thing is, like, in terms of Chelsea as a business, and I don't like looking at football as a business sort of thing, but Chelsea do really well on the business aspect because, like, they sell their shirts and everything, they always make a profit on that. But when they buy in players, they buy them at such cheap prices and their value literally skyrockets because they usually turn out to be quite good. Now, the couple of players, obviously Fernando Torres didn't skyrocket.
Yeah, but like
that's one exception in
Yeah.
a good, like, 10 or 11 players. Like, Hazard was bought, I think it was 30 million euros.
32 million. He was
30.
less than Mohamed Salah. Like.
But that's acceptable considering the price market nowadays.
Yeah.
Like, I think Mohamed Salah probably would have been about 20 million back in those days. If it was
I think we only bought him for like 15 or 17 million.
Because no, it's like 17 million, yeah, because Liverpool were trying to get it as well. But
He scored in his debut and I was there, 6-0
against Man United.
No,
No,
against
Arsenal.
Arsenal,
Yeah, I'm thinking of Man United. He scored against Man United as well. He did when we played them.
When?
He had scored a goal, I think it was cut back in outside the box scored.
That was against Stoke.
So
3-0, yeah.
my memory fails me again.
Yeah.
But yeah, the thing is, like, from a business aspect, Chelsea are probably one of the best clubs in the league. For Man City, not so much because they always make a loss on a lot of their players, but they can afford to do that. Really, they're absolutely
Zero loaded. So are PSG. Did you hear? PSG. Sorry, PSG. Another of these shitty Sky Sports rumours. Sky Sports have gotten so bad at the transfers, haven't they? Actually.
Yeah, Sky Sports used to be the reliable source to go.
Yeah, Sky Sports used to be it. That was just it. But now there's like Twitter is just the place for your transfer news.
Like, literally every striker in the world on Sky Sports is linked with West Ham.
And
like,
Chelsea. Chelsea. But like, Sky Sports initially supposedly said PSG were ready to pay Neymar's release clause, which was like 220 million.
It's not gonna happen. Like, I'm sorry, but if you're at the heights of Barcelona, regardless of what state the club is in, you still won was the Copa del Rey last year, and that club is still massive. I don't care. Nobody like Neymar is going to be at Barcelona, one of the biggest clubs in the world, just behind
probably the biggest club.
Well, no, I'd say just behind Real Madrid at the moment.
True.
But I would not be thinking, I'm going to go to PSG. It's like every summer you hear Ronaldo linked to PSG. Why would Ronaldo go there? He's clearly the main man at Real Madrid. He basically owns that club himself.
He does.
Like, if he doesn't like someone, he just doesn't talk to them and they get sold. Like, I don't... It's the same with Messi to a certain extent as well. Like, I'm pretty sure was it this season or... Andre Gomez has been his first season, hasn't it?
Mm.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he told Luis Enrique to drop him, and he did. That is how much power these players have.
That was the thing with Messi and Ibrahimovic.
Yeah.
Ibrahimovic doesn't like Guardiola because Ibrahimovic was bought as the striker, right? This is when Messi played on the wing. But I still does kind of play on the wing. But remember he was at that centre role for a while. Yeah. Ibrahimovic was like, oh, play me in the centre. And then Messi was like, no, I'm playing there. So Ibrahimovic out in the wide. He got pissed off and went and left.
To be fair, as much as I don't believe in a club being owned by a player, if you have someone like Messi, you kind of have to keep them as happy. Yeah, you kind of just can't say no to them. Although, if you manage to tame a player like that, you are some damn good manager. But at the same time, you also run the risk of losing that player. Players that I like that are just like, I think if you're just looking at if you want to get a Best Buy version of Messi, it's Bale, and if you want to get a Best Buy version of Ronaldo, it's Neymar. Like, both of them are really hard-working players. Like, I don't think I've ever seen them be like kind of annoying to other players. Although Barcelona players, oh my god, do they call for fouls like it's not ending. Like, one tap of the shoulder, they're shouting at the ref, like, handball.
In fairness, right, I think it's a bit much. But the likes of Neymar is targeted. Mm-hmm. Like, Neymar...
It's like the same with Hazard in the Premier League. Like, he's the most fouled player in the Premier League. And people say, oh, he goes down way too easy. It's not that. It's just he gets fouled. Like, if you're going to get fouled, you might as well go down. It's not a bad thing to do. Yeah. Like, it's like saying...
Like, no, there's a difference between a dive and a foul. That's in, like, getting contact. Like, say if you're whacked in the leg, right? But you manage to keep yourself, like, not fully balanced, but you're still up and running with the ball. You're better to go down because you're off balance. Yeah. It's much better. As in, like, it just proves it. A couple of years ago, Kevin Nolan, right, destroyed one of the Arsenal players. Bang! He nearly did a flip, but he stayed on his feet. Clear penalty, ref didn't give it. Yeah. So what does that tell you? You have to go down to get a free kick.
Yeah, the modern day attitude of footballers now is if you're in the box and you do get like some sort of contact, you do go down.
Yeah,
regardless of how much contact it is, you have to go down. And like, so much as like I don't like to see weak players, like it is a thing you have to do. Unless you're holding up the ball, like a big man like Diego Costa or Zlatan, they can probably deal with that. But if you're a nippy winger like Hazard, say Sterling, like if you get tapped like at least once in the box. Like, I'm not talking about like Ashley Young diving here when he's in the box and literally just jumps into them. I mean like proper, like somebody sticks out their leg. I think it was 2 seasons ago, Hazard did this dribbling run and Koscielny kind of tripped him up. Like, regardless of how like sort of that tackle went out, he could have maybe stayed on his feet, but it's just 100% you have to go down. There's no question about it. And it is drilled into them from a young age when they're becoming professional footballers. And to make an excuse that that's a bad thing for them is just ridiculous. One thing as well is like Chelsea nowadays definitely like, actually I don't even know where I'm going with this now. The thing is that Chelsea is such a big team that they are drilled in every week. It's not like they can go out and just like try and play as much nice football as well, because you hear all the time about teams like Man United, you know, playing boring football. Like, it's what gets them results. Like, these people aren't.
Did that really get Man United results last year though?
Well, they did go on a 24-game unbeaten streak, and they have Champions League football.
Yet though, it wasn't great. It wasn't really. I wouldn't really call it an unbeaten one. Would you?
Well, it's.
I wouldn't. So yeah, it was. So it wasn't an unbeaten.
Better than a loss.
It was an unbeaten run, yeah, but like it really made no significance to them whatsoever, considering they were like 6th all the time.
I think a lot of the problem nowadays though is that managers are put under so much pressure when they join a club. Even if the club isn't that big in the Premier League, say if someone's joined Swansea, like they're under pressure straight away. Like, you have to play boring football sometimes to get results. And I think Mourinho in his first season just needed to get a solid enough like start to his campaign in the way that he could possibly like, you know, get a good season under his belt, make sure he gets top 4, because I don't care how many people you bring in first season, there's no way you can win. Well, actually I say that, and Conte did it.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of but the thing is there was a lot of players from that that Premier League winning squad in it before. It was only the couple of additions. Like Conte just won the league the year previous as well, and David Luiz just won the Liga with PSG. So to say that, like, I think he put a good approach to
it. I think if Conte needs to be given these funds, or else Conte will walk. Like, it's been so clear. But Conte kind of reminds me of Alex Ferguson, because no, I'm not just saying this to a Chelsea fan. But if you look at Alex Ferguson, right? He turned Keystone Park, Wes Brown, John O'Shea, Makeda, Fabio, Raphael. The list goes on. Michael Owen when he was old, when he had the fecked up knee, into Premier League winners.
Mm-hmm.
Who would have thought that Victor Moses and Marcus Alonso would be a Premier League winner? I certainly didn't.
But to be fair, apart from those two players, the rest of them are very good players.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. Antonio Conte gets the best out of these players, and it's incredible how he does it.
Yeah,
it really is. It's poetry how he does it. It really is fantastic, and I love seeing those type of underdog players win trophies. It's like Claudio Ranieri turned Danny Simpson, as I keep repeating, into a Premier League winner.
Yeah.
Steven Gerrard, Jamie Carragher isn't even a Premier League winner.
Yeah, it's just the way that they get it out of them, and really, these is what separates the good managers from the great managers. Mourinho is that to an extent as well.
Yeah.
I still think Mourinho's he takes a different approach to it, but he is still one of the best managers in the world. I wouldn't put him as the best manager in the world at the moment.
Who's the best manager in the world at the moment?
Best manager in the world at the moment has to be Zidane.
Yeah, probably, considering he's won 2 Champions Leagues in a row.
Although with
two
Zidane's...
UEFA Super Cups, Club World Cup, La Liga.
Zidane's job, though, is... I heard someone talking about this. Zidane's job isn't really to, tactically organise that team. It's just to keep everyone in that club happy, because they're all such, world-class players that, the egos in that dressing room must be, enormous. And I'm not saying, obviously, all of them are egotistical, because I've seen, a couple of players,
no way Marcelo's
not egotistical. I wouldn't say Morata's egotistical. Yeah. A couple of players, obviously, we know Ronaldo to a certain extent is egotistical. I can imagine someone like Ramos might be as well. He'd be a bit annoyed if he got dropped or whatever. So it's just about
Wasn't the rumours of Pepe going to PSG or somewhere like that?
Oh, I didn't hear those.
This was a couple in June. But there was rumours of PSG players. No, sorry, Pepe leaving Real Madrid.
Yeah.
But what's happening there? Any idea?
To be fair, I could understand if Pepe left because they've obviously got Varane coming through. They've still got Nacho Fernandez. They've also got Sergio Ramos there as well. And with them kind of just coming through, Pepe is getting old.
Yeah.
I think he's looking at maybe the paycheck now rather than the club he's at. That's what I can understand. Obviously, I know Ronaldo's 31. I said, why would he move to PSG? But that's different for Ronaldo because he's a world-class player. He could probably play until he's about maybe 40, I would say. The thing with Pepe is he's not going to last much longer. And as much as he is I'd say he's in his prime at the moment.
Pepe?
Yeah. I would say...
I would take Pepe at Chelsea.
Yeah, you would take Pepe, but he is still getting old.
And people say Pepe is just a mad bastard because he's getting red cards.
The thing though is these people
I kind of like those players that are fighters that do anything to win.
Yeah, but the people who say that Pepe is nothing more than just a really dirty player are the people who think that Sergio Busquets is nothing more than a diver. Sergio Busquets is probably one of the best defensive midfielders in the world, whereas Pepe is probably one of the best centre backs in the world. If you watch these players week in, week out, like I did when I went over to see them play in Madrid.
Yeah, you watched them twice.
Yeah, I watched them twice. Pepe played both times for them. Pepe played once.
Can I just ask, right? What is the atmosphere like in a Spanish league game?
Spanish league game, it depends what club you go to. Obviously, with Atletico Madrid being the more sort of family-friendly club over there, they were a lot more vocal, whereas Real Madrid's a lot more posh. They're really sort of sophisticated sort of thing. There is their ultra section, but apart from that, it's fairly quiet. Depends what game you get, really. The Sevilla game had good atmosphere. The Granada one was nearly dead, even though the stadium was nearly full. The thing about it is, though, it's just I think those people have come so accustomed to getting such massive results, it just doesn't affect them that much anymore.
You know what I noticed at Real Madrid? You know when you're looking around the stands, right? And at Bayern Munich, they're all wearing red at Bayern, and in the stands they're all wearing white at Real Madrid. But they're wearing their team's colours. You don't always see that in the Premier League.
A lot of it's just down to the fact that those two colours are very bright colours. And if somebody's wearing a different colour, it's going to drown it out. It's the way colours go. And it's a really big discussion to have, but white is literally just going to out-dominate, say, a dark blue or something in a crowd. It's literally just going to come out. That's the thing. It's a lot of them. When I was there, some of them weren't even wearing jerseys. Majority of them weren't. It was mainly the ultras. But since that there was a couple of people so spread around. It's the idea that if you've more people spread around, it looks like there's more of them than there actually is.
Where were you sitting, by the way?
I was sitting. I can't even remember the seat I was sitting in, but it was near enough to the ultras, just behind them. It was the very last tier.
Well, you're at the top. The very top of the roundabout.
For the Sevilla one, yeah. The Granada one, I was 2 tiers down.
Jesus, how high up and how... But you must have gotten from my foot...
It's I feel
Was it a good view of the pitch though?
Yeah, it was a very good view.
Was it?
And the thing though is when I was I feel like I'm higher up when I'm at the Aviva. It's
Really?
really. I think it's just because the Aviva is such steep steps and you're walking up,
Yeah,
and that
it
just
is.
feels a
Jesus,
lot taller.
I hate going up there to Aviva.
It feels a lot
I'm
taller.
definitely
Obviously,
going to die.
Bernabeu is having this massive remake of it though, because it's putting a roof on it now. So we kind of saw the model of that, and it looks pretty cool and everything. Like the entire thing, just walking through their museum and everything is really good. Like, so if you're in Madrid, that's one of the go-to things. The museum tour is very.
And you know,
good.
you got to see Atletico Madrid in their last season at the Calderon.
I did, yeah. I saw them play Alaves, but there was an absolute screamer scored by Alaves. That was an unreal game. Well, it wasn't an unreal game. It was pretty dull, but like watching players like Felipe Luis, like their touch on the ball for defenders is ridiculously good. Like it's just. Because, like, me being used to going to League of Ireland games and watching it, like, you can, like, it's a clear standout with the quality of players. Like,
Oh, really? No shit.
no, but, like, you know what I mean? Like, you go over and it's just, like, it's not like, you know the way you play FIFA and you're like, oh, this is so unrealistic how they do this. Like, some of the players, like, literally look like they're just in a video game. Like, the way they have the touch of the ball, like, it's ridiculous some of the things they can do. And it's amazing to watch. Like, that's what Dad was saying when he went to see Barcelona. When he saw them play Elche when they won 5.
You didn't go to that, did you?
I didn't go to that. I wasn't in Barcelona. But when they went to see,
Johnson, I guarantee he's an ultra when he goes to the game. He's a secret ultra. I guarantee you, he's a secret ultra.
He doesn't even like football as much as me. He's seen the top 3 teams in Spain. Well, yeah, he's seen Sevilla as well. It's top 4. But the thing is, he was saying like just the way they play, like the way they move and everything, it's ridiculous. Like, because you know Joe, obviously my uncle, like he's a big football fan. I think back in the day, like he probably could have gone semi-professional at least. But when he was there, like even like he'd have a good eye for like tactics and everything, how it works. Like even he was saying like their movement off the ball is amazing. Like
no, that's what counts. Like people don't realize that the movement off the ball is one of the most important things, because the person on the ball has to have the options available for him, which means the players off the ball need to get into space. To move, like you're saying, the movement off the ball is crucial when to receiving the pass, or even just making that run to take away the defender and let the person on the ball run into that space.
Mm-hmm. Think about being a professional footballer, and this is obviously not speaking from a professional footballer standpoint, but the way I see it is like, obviously when you're in Sunday League, the difference between that and professional football is like when you're in Sunday League, when you get the ball, your mentality is always like, oh, go forward, let's do this, like let me try and do something for the team. But when professional footballer, like they've got it drilled into them so much that it's like, no, find the pass, don't go glory hunting yourself. Well, some players do anyways. Obviously, we have the unlikely few like Quaresma and Nani. But
Quaresma's class though.
I love Quaresma. I just let him do anything again. But the thing is, like, you know those like simple drills you do in training, like the triangles and everything, pass the ball around. Like you don't think, oh, when's this going to come to play in a match? Like it comes into play. Like you see Madrid doing this week in, week out. Like
it's more Barca though.
Well, like Madrid do it as well. Like even if they don't pass the ball off as much, you can see them getting into the positions open for it, and that is really what separates it, because they do the simple things right. Everyone's like, oh, these professional footballers, they're so much more skilled than me. Like, if it burns down to it, a person is the exact same as another person. It's just the skill and the dedication they put in is a lot more.
I think it's because people that think they're class don't take into the simple skills more. But I guarantee you, still Ronaldo practices his 5-yard passes.
Mm-hmm. Well, he has to every day. Like I remember hearing Rio Ferdinand tell a story about how he took a shot at training and it went miles over or something. Ronaldo was behind the bushes after training, taking shots in week, out, getting that perfected. Like that is the difference between a professional footballer and just an amateur who just like, oh, I'm going home now. Like literally, it's just the case of being a professional footballer. It, like from my point of view, shouldn't be that difficult. It's just hard work and dedication. Like you can be like the least skilled footballer in the world, but if you've got hard work and dedication, as is shown by players like N'Golo Kante.
Yeah, I was actually going to say Fodsu, but
right. But you've also got players like, take Danny Welbeck for example. He's not the greatest player in the world, but he runs his socks off every week when he plays for Arsenal or well, I haven't seen him play for England in years, but he runs his socks off every time he plays for Arsenal or when he was at Man United. Like, and he wasn't the greatest player in the world, but since he put in the hard work, he was getting in that team week in, week out, because he was willing to put in the effort. And that's the thing that separates like the good players from the bad players and the professionals from the amateurs. Like, I think like obviously football changes from like it's drilled into people a lot. It's drilled into people a lot differently. Like, if you're looking for good defenders, I'd say probably go to Italy because they've got the best defending like academies in the world over there. I'd say.
Is Romagnoli still at AC Milan?
He is, yeah.
Jesus, him and Bonucci at centre back next year.
Yeah, that is going to be unbelievable. I've heard people criticising that transfer, like, oh, they paid 35 million for a 30-year-old. Like, so what? 30
It's
30
fucking
million,
Leonardo Bonucci.
Yeah, considering he was linked with 60 million to Chelsea last season. Is there something going on there?
What do you mean?
Like, is there something dodgy dealings going on there at Milan? Because, like...
No, they have a new Chinese owner.
I know they have a new Chinese owner, but 35 million still feels really low.
Bonucci's wife wanted to stay in Italy.
Okay.
But Juve didn't.
So it's like the whole Chelsea check thing.
But it looked like Juve didn't want. It looks like Juve didn't want Bonucci. So Bonucci is not.
Yeah. Thing is, I'm surprised no other team like Roma or anything went in for him. And like, if I was Roma, like just after losing Antonio Rudiger, I would have been glad to spend 35 million on Bonucci. Like, I would have considered an upgrade. The thing is, that he's going to be an unbelievable signing, regardless of his age. Like, experience matters, and they've lacked at centre back positions for a while now.
win the Europa League this year.
Now that is the question. I don't know. I'll have to wait and see. Like, I want to see them in their first league game first, because obviously, as I just said earlier, like, a load of new players, they can't be expected to do stuff straight away.
Aubameyang, the whole Aubameyang thing. He's been linked with everyone. Chelsea, I
still don't believe that.
Chelsea, I don't think Chelsea are in for him whatsoever. But AC Milan possibly, because Aubameyang used to play for AC Milan. Maybe he has unfinished business there.
The thing is, though, when Aubameyang was at Dortmund, and I've said this on multiple occasions, he told his dad that the only club he was going to play for was Real Madrid.
I know, yeah.
This is why I don't get these links coming up. If he moves, I'll be devastated and make me look like a right fool.
Yeah.
But the thing is, he said this. And, like, I don't know about you, but if my dad was on his deathbed and I told him something, I'd stick to it.
Yeah.
Like, I think he's not going to move unless he's going to Real Madrid. And if I was Real Madrid, I'd be jumping at that opportunity. Wow, this is a player who literally just says, I want to go to your club and I'm a class player. I'd be bidding for him straight away. Get rid of Benzema, because all he scores is tap-ins. And regardless, I know that's a good thing to do as a striker because, positioning's everything. But he hasn't been as good as he used to be. I'd say swap him with Aubameyang. Maybe add a couple extra million onto that. You've got yourself one of the best front threes in the world with Gareth Bale, Ronaldo, and Aubameyang. Like, Aubameyang was one of the most clinical strikers in the world last year. And I don't see why they shouldn't be going in for him. Because this is the club that prides himself on buying a massive signing every single summer. And they're not going to go in for him. Like, I can't see any position. Because Bayern Munich have just bought James Rodriguez.
No, he's on a 2-year loan.
Yeah, but they have got him. They need more. They need someone in because they've obviously lost. He was their star man when they bought him after the World Cup. You're just after losing him now on a 2-year loan. Bring in someone that'll get the fans going again. Because the thing about Real Madrid fans is, as much as I say, I respect Real Madrid fans, they're not going to settle for the same stuff every year. And I can kind of understand that because they're such a massive club. They want to see new stuff coming in.
They expect to win every year.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
They want to see new people, new players, new coaching and everything coming in every year and seeing new football. And if they get Aubameyang in, you can tell Zidane will be on the top of their love list for the entire year.
For the rest of their lives, 3 Champions League in a row.
So I don't know. I can't. 70 million to Chelsea? No, not a chance. I don't see that happening. I don't see him going to anywhere.
Higuain was with Chelsea today as well.
Alright, that's exciting.
It's not going to happen.
I think if we get any striker, it's going to be Alvaro Morata. I just think it's going to be him. Cause
Lloyd Grammy's going to stay. We're going to win the Europa League.
That's Lloyd Grammy. Oh. What do you mean win the Europa League? We're in Champions League.
I know.
Throwbacks to
2013. We're going to finish third in our Champions League group.
Apart from that, the club I want to talk about that has been doing some unbelievable business lately and has not been getting the praise it deserves is Everton.
Yeah, Everton doing really well.
God.
I think Everton could finish above Liverpool.
Now, this is where I want to come into this because there's been a big debate who's better, Everton or Liverpool? And on paper, let's be fair, Everton's defence is probably better than Liverpool, and it was for the last few years. But losing Tim Howard was a massive blow.
Yeah, but Liverpool's attack is better though.
Yeah, that's the thing. But losing Howard was a big thing to them. Jagielka's getting old. They lost John Stones. Baines isn't what he used to be. Now they've brought in Jordan Pickford, arguably one of the best young keepers in the world at the moment. 30 million, that's a bargain for a young player nowadays. And I don't care what anyone says. As much as he was injured last year, he was the only thing that gave Sunderland any hope, was that they had a really good goalkeeper.
Wait, they had hope?
In some form of the season. Pretty sure there was one game where Jordan Pickford had run more than one of the defenders for Sunderland.
Oh my God. How is that
Jordan
possible?
Pickford, the goalkeeper, had done more running than one of the... I can't remember who it was. There was...
let me guess, Julian Lescott.
Oh God. He just didn't even run onto the pitch, let alone run on the pitch. Who else? They brought in Michael Keane.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that shit.
Burnley's best player last season and probably deserved to be in the team of the season if it wasn't for, obviously the title. He would have been in there if one of the other players had to drop out.
Speaking of Burnley, Walters went to Burnley.
Oh yes, boys. The Ireland lads are going to Burnley like it's nobody's business.
And Preston, don't forget Preston.
Preston, yeah.
When do you think Preston will join the League of Ireland?
I just think they'll just buy the league and just have it as a loan league for themselves. They can just bring them all in. to be who else have they brought in? Everton have also signed Wayne Rooney. To be fair, not the obviously.
That's actually a decent signing, but he's still he's not.
His good days are by him.
You know what? I cannot understand someone of Wayne Rooney's stature, right? Who has all these people around him to help him keep in shape. Is so out of shape.
I think it's just down to him.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, how does someone he has state-of-the-art gyms, state-of-the-art people around him, not all access to gyms, football pitches, swimming pools, anything he could want to keep himself fit. Yet.
Yeah. The thing, I think going to Everton will kind of revitalise himself because he really wants to be there. I think.
Yeah.
Like he loves that club. Like, do you hear the thing about him saying he wears Everton pyjamas or whatever?
Bollocks.
Yeah, that'd be a bit weird now, wouldn't it?
That's bollocks.
But I think that's so much as it isn't a good signing, as in like the fact that Everton are trying to do this big youth thing and bring good players. Obviously, with him being there, that can attract a lot of other players because like so much as Wayne Rooney isn't the brightest spark in the bunch,
he'll learn a lot.
He's a good leader to a certain extent because you can tell when Wayne Rooney's annoyed on a pitch. Wayne Rooney's.
Do you remember when he cursed down the camera?
Do you want to curse down the camera?
I said, do you remember when he cursed down the camera?
Oh yeah, the thing is he's an absolute trooper. He'll go in for it. He's a guy. If there's a 50-50 tackle, there's no chance he's pulling out of that. He's going straight in. Do you remember when
the gash? I was about to say that. Yeah.
It just didn't even bat an eyelid. He was looking at it, just
fuck.
Yeah, literally. I think he's more worried about being left out of a game than getting injured. That's the thing. And he scored a banger on his debut. Granted, scoring on your debut seems to be the new thing now with all the new signings. Like Lacazette did it, so did Salah, but they were both tapping.
Yeah, I don't really count them because they're pre-season.
Yeah. Speaking of Liverpool, how did they manage to draw 1-1 with Wigan?
Pre-season, like I said, I would. As in, that's where you. But that's where you're allowed to make do stuff like that.
Oh yeah, I don't take pre-season as a big thing. I never look at pre-season and think, that's how good a team's going to be.
I mean, I take pre-season massively because it'll show you how your season will plan out. As in,
well, to a certain extent, some teams have, Chelsea. Not Chelsea. Man United had that one season where they won their cup in pre-season and then they ended up coming 7th.
Yeah, but that's one of those. What I'm saying, but this is what I'm saying. As in, a pre-season is for you to work with your squad, get your message across. Yeah. But the thing is with Man United, at that time, right, they didn't even get any of the players in they wanted. Moyes wasn't given any money to spend. As in, how can you expect Moyes to do anything?
He was given a little bit of money, but he spent it all on Fellaini.
Yeah, but a little bit. Look at the amount of money Mourinho was given. Look at the amount of money Louis van Gaal was given.
Even if you look at the money that Klopp has been given now, he's still been given a good bit of money. He's after splashing 50 million on Mohamed Salah.
What's 50 million?
What?
It was 34.
50 million euros.
That's 34 million pounds, alright.
Yeah. The thing, what's it called? There's all I still think they haven't strengthened in the positions they need to.
Yeah.
They haven't bought an all-out striker. As much as Mane did play centre forward for Southampton.
Yeah, but not a striker.
Yeah.
And they need centre back.
Still need a centre back, a goalkeeper, someone who can catch a ball, preferably.
Yeah.
They need a left back. James Miller can probably do one more year there, but I think after that they need to at least look in. I don't get all the clubs have been going out and buying players they need. Chelsea still need a striker, but apart from that, Liverpool have so much opportunities to go and buy these players. If they're such a big club like they claim to be, they should be easily able to attract some of the best players in the world. They had a good
especially with Champions League now.
Yeah, and they play some of the most attractive football in the Premier League. I don't see how they can't attract these big name players. I am sick and tired of hearing Liverpool fans say every year, we're buying Royce, we're getting Aubameyang, Higuain, Hamsik, Mertens. That's the squad next year. I don't care if you buy. You're not going to buy them. Be realistic. I remember there's a tweet that year that they bought Benteke. It was Liverpool fans saying they're going to buy Hamsik, Higuain, and Mertens when they're actually going to buy James Milner, Benteke, and who was the other one? Lovren, I think. And that is exactly what happened. I was it's so true. They buy the most bang average players, and Coutinho is the only one that keeps them.
Why is Coutinho still there?
I don't know. To be fair, I admire his loyalty.
Yeah, big time, massive.
The fact he's not even on 200k a week.
He's been there since the 12-13 season, right?
Yeah, I think it's because when he was at Inter Milan, they had no kind of hope in him, and Liverpool gave him this opportunity.
Yeah, I totally admire his loyalty, but if he really wants to progress, he needs to move. Unless he wants to be that type of player that stays loyal to the club because they gave him this opportunity, I think it'd be great for Liverpool.
Yeah.
But as a player himself, he needs to leave to progress.
I still think at the moment, like, I think Everton and Liverpool are very even now.
Yeah.
Like, I think the only thing that's keeping Liverpool as being even with Everton at the moment is the fact that they have Coutinho. If Lukaku is still at Everton, I'd say Everton are better. Because I think every season it's kind of been like, Liverpool and Everton sort of transfer policy is basically, they buy players that are too good for Southampton, but not good enough for the top four.
Yeah.
And then they have one world-class player. This has been Lukaku and Coutinho for the past few years. And you can see it because, you know, they bought Pickford, Sunderland, Keane,
David Klassen from Ajax.
Klassen from Ajax. These are random players.
They're not random. They're good players, though.
They're good players, but they're not someone you'd expect to see in maybe a Premier League winning team. But they're not someone you'd expect to see in a mid-table team, if you get me. They're Everton Liverpool standard at the moment. These players can be turned into great players. Like I still believe there's great hope for Michael Keane and of course Jordan Pickford. And I actually want to see Everton do well, because I have a soft spot for Everton, just because of all the like Irish players that they brought through back in the day. And I still kind of like, and the way Koeman approaches games, like,
oh my god, they still Seamus Coleman's come back. What a signing!
Yeah, I know. To be fair, they bought him for 50 grand, and we got our cheeky 2-year Umbro kits.
60 grand, no, exactly.
60 grand, and our cheeky
60 grand, 60 grand, Seamus Coleman. 60 grand, 60 grand, I say. 60 grand, Seamus Coleman. What a lad, I love Seamus Coleman.
We still got our 2-year Umbro kit sponsor of that, so we got some nice jerseys before moving on.
What's that sponsored by now?
It was a Homa.
Oh yeah, Homa, yeah, Homa.
Yeah, what a class sponsor that is, guys.
You don't like them, do you?
Their jerseys just look disgusting to me.
I love Homa. I've always loved Homa.
Ugh. Their one's nice.
I always love Homa. Brumby's new kit is unreal.
But anyways, yeah, I kind of want to see Everton do well this year. I wouldn't mind if Everton got top 4. Yeah, I'd feel happy for them, because I'm kind of sick of Everton, you know, getting Europa League football, getting knocked out, then nothing happening.
They haven't really been in European football for ages, though.
Exactly, though. Like,
European football.
But
I don't know. My perfect Europa League group would be like Arsenal, Brøndby, and anyone in England or Scotland.
Mm-hmm.
So I go over, or Ireland for that matter. If Rovers qualify, or if Cork qualify, or Dundalk.
I think this year's going to be a big year for Arsenal, because it'll literally just say, like, because they've slagged teams for being in the Europa League for so many years.
You know what? I think Sanchez has to. I think Arsenal need to sell Sanchez, because if they don't, he'll refuse to sign a new contract, and they'll let him walk for nothing. And that's.
But this is the thing, though. If Sanchez is frustrated because the team isn't being successful, he stays this year. They win the Europa League. They push for top 4. I think he'd be happy to stay another season. I think the only thing that's keeping him at the club at the moment is that they won the FA Cup.
But is that a risk Arsenal? I don't think that's a risk Arsenal should be willing to take.
I think Arsene Wenger will take that risk, because they know how much the fans will just slate him if he gets sold. That's the thing at the moment. Like, that club doesn't back the manager no matter what. Like, he signed Lacazette, and they're all going to be like, oh yeah, go on Wenger. Like, they don't see that as Wenger's signing. They just see it as an Arsenal signing. They don't give him props. I haven't seen anyone come out and say, well done, Wenger, for signing a striker. I haven't seen that. Maybe I just haven't seen videos on it. I could be completely wrong. But from what I've seen, I haven't seen anyone be like, good work, Wenger. Literally, one pre-season game, they start him on the left wing. There are rant videos on Arsenal Fan TV about him starting on the left.
No, actually, that's something I'm going to be bringing up in a video later on. Arsenal Fan TV, fair play them for going all the way out to Sydney. For just, do the fan cams and whatever. Mm-hmm. They're also going out to China or Shanghai. Yeah, Shanghai is China.
Well, I wouldn't be saying fair play. Like, they have the resources to do it.
But, like, it's not like they're owned by a massive corporation. They're going there out of their own pocket.
Well, it's not like their own pocket, but have you seen the views they get on YouTube? The monetization on that must be mad.
I know, but still, you get where I'm coming from. Like.
Yeah, but...
Like, they're the only channel I've seen doing that.
Like, to be fair, they can go out to Shanghai. Maybe it'll cost them a good few hundred, but they'll make hundreds off it.
I know, yeah.
Like, that's the thing.
They'll break even at least.
It's like when you see these YouTube videos, like, oh, why did this guy break his Xbox? You see it as like 2 million views. Like, he's still gonna get more than that Xbox is worth. It's kind of just like it's obviously a good business tactic for them. Like, obviously, they're gonna go out anyways, because, like, football is obviously, it's most dead at the moment.
Yeah.
Because, like, it's summer and, like, there's no football on apart from friendlies. So them going out to these countries.
I actually enjoy watching friendlies, I must admit.
Friendlies are good because it gets you to see some players that maybe wouldn't get a chance during the season. The one thing about friendlies, though, is I don't really feel anything for them. Like, I never feel like, oh, come on, let's get this team. Because I just feel it's so pointless. Because, like,
sometimes I think I've really only felt twice for friendlies, but I was just at the Chelsea games.
Yeah.
So
so the fact of that, I want to see more people supporting Wenger. Wenger has bought a striker after all these years of you slating him, and I haven't seen one word.
So you're Wenger in?
At the moment, yes.
I
Even though I'm not an Arsenal fan. Just, I enjoy the fact that he's, after all the time, I don't even think it was fully his fault he couldn't sign anyone. That board has a lot to answer to, because they've clearly come out and stated, a couple of years ago, we don't care about winning the Premier League, they just want top 4 so they can get the revenue from it. Haven't got top 4, they obviously understand, oh crap, we've messed up, let's give them some money so we can actually get back into it. Now they're signing players that they should be signing. Players that should have been at that club years ago. Lacazette shouldn't have been at Lyon for that long, because he's been really good for the last few years. The things with Cavani had been going on for way too long. Obviously, I'd argue that Lacazette better than Cavani, because he suits Arsenal's style a little bit more than Cavani would, because Cavani's more of he's more of just a more expensive version of Giroud, really, for Arsenal. That's the thing.
And better.
Yeah, more expensive. So he obviously, actually, expense doesn't mean quality. Cough, Andy Carroll, cough, Torres. But the thing is, I'm happy he signed these players. If they get a semi-decent, central midfielder / centre back, I think they'll be sorted for the season. I think they'll make it, because I want to see this year be competitive. So much as I like Chelsea and all that, I want to see competitive football played at its best. I want to see teams competing for the top 4. Like, even though people say, oh, it wasn't as much of a runaway this year, Chelsea kind of had the league in the bag for ages.
Now, transfers, right? Hurts me every time I say this. Jose and Man United. They signed Lindelof, Lukaku, looks like we're signing Perisic. 2 wins in their pre-season tour of America. 5-2 against the LA Galaxy and 5-2 against Real Salt Lake.
And Lukaku scored his first goal as well.
Last night,
Yeah. Lindelof. Now, the thing about him...
I haven't seen... to be honest, hold my hands up, haven't seen any of them.
No, I watched a couple of Benfica games because I knew that they were going to be getting poached, because some of their players are really good. Like, obviously, we've seen Nelson Semedo has gone to Barcelona.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Barcelona signing a signing.
And they needed a right back for a while now.
Yeah, but Alex Vidal will be back soon.
I know, but the thing is, he's not an all-out right back. He played right mid for... Who's the club he's at for? Sevilla, yeah. So Nelson Semedo's a good signing, and obviously there'll be some good competition for that. He's got Dani Alves going to PSG as well.
True. That's a really good signing for PSG.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't... Wasn't he linked with going to Man City?
He was, but you see, people say it's down to the money. I think that was probably a factor. But at City, he was only given 1 year, while I think at PSG was given 2.
Yeah.
So it's a more secure future.
If I was City, I would have given him 2 years. They are not in the... in the comfortable seat for giving out.
See, you're not even signing any fullbacks. They've signed Kyle Walker.
Yeah.
I think they need 2 fullbacks and two left fullbacks. I think they need 2 left fullbacks and 2 right fullbacks. Because yesterday, Alexander Kolarov, but he's played centre back for that last season.
Yeah. They're looking at sending Mendy.
Yeah.
Seen that a lot.
Oh, he's been pissing people off on Twitter. Have you seen all this stuff?
No, what is it?
Basically, the other day he tweeted a picture of him in Arabian gear with Union Jack shorts saying, coming soon or whatever.
Right. Okay. The thing is, Mendy signs. Got 2 very good fullbacks. John Stones is still developing. Maybe another centre back. Company seems like he's got his best.
They have Maffalo, right back. That's in their youth squad. See, maybe that's the thing. People don't realise that City probably have a class youth squad, and maybe Maffalo is a part of Guardiola's plans. I have no idea, but maybe he is.
Yeah. Denier when he was.
Denier,
when he went to Celtic, wasn't it?
He played class. He was a Galatasaray
and Boyata as well. They were 2 very good players for Celtic. Their youth squad is very good. It's I'd say it's second.
You know what Iniesta? No. Iniesta said, I think it was either Carlos Puyol is now a football agent, right? He took one of his players from the La Masia to put it into the Manchester City Academy, because he said the Manchester City Academy is currently better than the
Barcelona.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it is ridiculous.
The City football group are really this. I'm not on about New York City, Man City, Melbourne City. And the team in China they have look like they're really going places.
The thing is, I don't think that Barcelona produced the quality of players that they used to. Obviously, when they have Puyol, unreal. I think Messi's the end of that great era of players that they're going to produce. Even if you look at PK, it wasn't produced by Barcelona. He was Man United. He was technically raised. He was by
Barca, and then Man United, then Barca.
Yeah, but Man United kind of propelled him to getting back to Barcelona. Say the same with Cesc Fabregas, Arsenal as well. I still don't understand why they sold Cesc Fabregas and Alex Song when they're looking for a central midfielder now. It bewilders me when they're midfielders.
This is back in 2012 now, come on.
But their midfielders were still getting old. Everyone could see Iniesta was getting old. I can't remember who else. Xavi was in the middle of the park.
I never thought Andre Gomez was the best fit for Barcelona, to be honest.
No, and the money they paid for him is ridiculous as well.
I always thought, Andre Gomez, you've just had a decent, brilliant Euros, you've won the Euros, go somewhere you're going to get played.
Yeah.
That was kind of my thinking.
The thing is, both of them have both the two Valencia signings, him and Paco Alcacer, haven't shown amazing. Paco Alcacer's been okay.
Yeah, but with Paco Alcacer realistically ever going to get his game?
Yeah. But when he has played...
Valencia were kind of struggling with money problems, right? So they needed the money. I think Paco Alcacer and Andre Gomes both need to leave, whereas stay in Spain, go play for someone like Sevilla or Atleti, or go abroad.
Yeah. I think maybe a move abroad would help them as well. Like, if they went to some German club, I think they'd be able to really flourish. Like, they went to some club maybe, like... See, like Dimitri Payet when he went to West Ham. Like, he could have gone to Spurs, but he went to West Ham because, he wants to make himself better. Like... Because, like, obviously you can say, oh, he's not accepting the challenge. But, like, he wanted to be at a club where, he felt valued. That he could, be himself and, be that. Because there's always that... There's a thing that it's always, like, 10 well-drilled players and there's one player who's allowed to do whatever he wants on the pitch. And I think for Chelsea, that's Hazard. And then I think for West Ham, it was Payet at that time.
It was.
And at the moment, I think Barcelona kind of have that thing which kind of like, well, front three.
Speaking of Marseille have done some decent transfers at the moment. They signed Luis Gustavo, Steve Mandanda. They
bought Mandanda back.
Yeah. Luis Gustavo's class side. Valet Jamon. And there's been a couple of more linked. I'm just trying to think who else.
To be fair, Jamon never got his game with Monaco that much.
I know, but you're still banging the goals.
Yeah. And Gustavo's obviously a very good sign. His time's kind of passed though, if I do say so.
There's definitely someone else they've signed. I literally just cannot remember who it is. And they've been linked with a good few other players as well. As in, this could be exciting times for away.
Oh, another one I forgot to mention for AC Milan, Hakan Calhanoglu went to them as well.
Yeah, that's actually a class signing.
Like, he is statistically the best. Biglia has gone to
AC Milan as well.
See, I don't get...
Frank Kessie.
Kessie as well.
Yeah.
Oh, big Frank.
I know, I knew you were going to say that.
Kessie, the Atalanta player.
Yeah.
But the thing is, Hakan Calhanoglu statistically is the best free kick taker in the world. And like, oh my god, they're going to be so dangerous next year. I love watching AC Milan play, but they've just got some, like, they are now at the moment kind of the Everton / Liverpool of this Serie A. Because they've got all these sort of players that they're not average, but they're not top tier. They're like just there. And I love those sort of players because they're just like, they're the most loyal players you can have because they're so down to earth, a lot of them. Like, you would never hear anyone like Biglia going, oh, I want 200k a week, give me that or else I'm leaving the club. Because he knows he's at a very good club at the moment and he's happy to be there. That's what I love about those players. And Bonucci's obviously the world-class player. That's what I really look forward to seeing because I love seeing teams like that. How fun would it be if Everton came up against AC Milan in the Europa League? That'd be one of the games of the year for me. I would love to watch that. Just the
You'd
amount...
have to go to it.
Oh, that is a different question. Depending the time,
I
would go.
It would be a Thursday.
Depending on what the mother says.
That would be a no, you know that, right?
Yeah, but if there was some miracle, I would go. I would 100% book my ticket and go out and see that match. Even if I would love to see AC Milan play, whether it was and Everton would just top it off as well. Just two really nice teams to watch play. Something I've nothing against either of those teams. Really good players that I enjoy. See, I hate the fact that English players are so hyped up, but with Michael Keane and Jordan Pickford, I can understand because they are good players. They're not these players who are on 200k a week. Oh, look, Dele Alli's unbelievable, and people hyping up to be more than he actually is. Michael Keane and Jordan Pickford are underrated, young, good players, and that's what I love to see coming out of youth academies. Love to see getting game time on the pitch. Like players like Andre Silva, nobody's been banging on about him. He's got his deal, I think it's with Nike, is it? Nike, with Nike. Or no, sorry, Puma, because they have Oxlade-Chamberlain as well. Apart from that, I haven't heard anyone be saying like, oh, he's a great young talent. I haven't heard anyone say that. Hakan Calhanoglu, so underrated, regardless of him being the best free kick taker in the world. Players like Biglia who do their job well. Obviously for Lazio, he was a fundamental part in their CDM position, and he'll be well missed by them. You've got players like...
Balde of Lazio looks like he's leaving as well. He could be going to Inter.
The only person who's got a load of hype around them in that AC Milan squad is Donnarumma, and that's for good reason.
And Bonucci.
Well, Bonucci, but I think that's kind of like, it's expected. Like But I think the only person who could slip up is Donnarumma. But I think the hype around him is well worth it, because he is that good of a player. They've also signed Ricardo Rodriguez.
Oh, yeah.
Where are they coming from? These are players that like people have been linked with for years, and AC Milan are just sweeping them up like it's nothing. They've nearly got a new full starting 11.
Yeah.
The thing is, they brought in Barini, and so much people might slate Barini. Like, we've seen what happened when AC Milan brought in a former Liverpool player known as Suso. He's been a baller. He was their best player last season, in my opinion.
People don't realise that certain players don't do well in certain leagues. Like Mohamed Salah didn't do well in the Premier League, went off, banged it in Serie A. Fabio Borini has been kind of out in the wilderness in the Premier League, still hasn't really worked out for him. Maybe going back to his roots in Serie A will help him out.
Yeah. Back in, like, cause he's obviously rare there, so he's obviously gone through the academy, all the training there, so he'll know how to counteract defenders in that league. He'll know how to attack in that league. He'll know how to, with his experience in the Premier League as well, learning new things as well, that'll really help him. And I hope he does well, because I actually do like Borini as well.
Love him.
The famous celebration as well, that we saw so few times. That one season he had of the Black Cats where he kept them up, that was a glorious season for him, but he never really recovered.
He scored against us at Stamford Bridge.
I know.
We lost the league title because of that game.
Yeah, but let's be fair, Liverpool didn't win either, so we're good. Could you imagine if Fabio Borini basically single-handedly won the title for Liverpool?
I tweeted that. No, I tweeted that the other day that Fabio Borini's going to lead Milan to the Scudetto.
So yeah,
Anything else we need to talk about?
I quickly want to touch on one last thing as well. When we talked about earlier about how money isn't everything and how it can be spent badly, like a prime team to look at now is Inter Milan. Whether they've bought very good players and they are starting to come into their form now, like they still finished I think 7th last year.
Yeah, so look at Kondogbia before.
Kondogbia was one of the hottest prospects.
Yeah, exactly. Goes to Italy. You talk to people about Kondogbia, you'd be like, oh, Kondogbia, he's class, like, even though he's meant to be class, so he's just not doing it.
The thing is, I think it's another case of it's not his sort of league, but at the same time as well, like,
maybe
I think how much they paid 30 million for him, and I wouldn't pay 10 million for him now.
Neither would I.
That's what I'm kind of worried about Bakayoko. And he's coming to Chelsea because I'm kind of worried that might be the same thing. Though I do have faith under Conte that he will be able to get the best out of him. And like along with Kante, it's basically just having a second backup to Matic.
Yeah, Matic could be leaving though.
That's what I'm scared about. I don't want him to leave. Matic's been very good for us. The thing is, Cesc Fabregas is probably going to leave then.
You think so?
Yeah, because like, sure enough, he was willing to sit on the sidelines this year. He got his game every now and then. But with Bakayoko in now, like. It's literally. I think Matic is more likely to leave than Fabregas because Fabregas is a completely different player to Matic, and Bakayoko is literally the same as Matic.
Except black, of course.
Yeah, of course. And he's younger.
Yeah.
But I think
because he's black, mainly.
Yeah, mainly. The thing I want to, and he's he's got hair. It doesn't matter. The thing is as well is yeah, I think he's more likely to, but I could see him leaving Fabregas. If he doesn't get his game this season, I think that's going to be the end for him. I think he might leave in January. Yeah. Something like that. Musonda will probably leave as well, which I'm kind of...
No, Musanda's meant to be a part of the squad this year.
Oh.
I know.
But then again, he said Cuadrado was going to be part of the squad last season as well.
True.
Cuadrado's now gone on his 3-year loan spell. Love it. Great business there, Chelsea. But yeah, I hope Musonda gets a game. Because Musonda is a very technical player. Obviously, because I like Betis a lot. I watched him a good bit. He was there. He was definitely the best player there, like without a doubt. He was that player in the 11-man team that could do whatever he wanted. And obviously, fan favourites obviously Ruben Castro from Betis. But apart from that, I think the star player was Charlie Musonda when he was there. And when he got put back, you could see it, the noticeable drop in form. Like Betis were on a tidy season, mid-table comfortably by January. Musonda got shipped back to Chelsea. It just started to plummet. They were nearly in relegation. And that's what I'm worried about Betis this season, that they might get relegated if they don't bring in any of the good players. Because Dani Ceballos is possibly going to go to either Atletico.
He's gone.
So he's going to go. He's gone.
No, he's gone.
He's gone.
He's gone.
So if Betis need to invest in some players. At the moment, the two best players in that squad for me are Ruben Castro and Antonio Adan. Apart from that, and to be fair, Mandy's quite decent as well. We need to bring in more players. There's no way Betis can survive on that, and I don't want to see them go back down to the
second division.
Yeah, I don't want to see that. As fun as it was to see them lift a trophy, it's something. Because to be fair enough, Betis are a team with history.
No, football wasn't invented, but football was only invented after 1992. What history do they have? Come on, tell me what they've done since between 1992 and now.
They've
won the second division a couple of times. Yeah. No history. No, go on, sis. Go on.
First time.
Well, then the man O'Connell, didn't they? Patrick O'Connell tried again.
The only guy to win the La Liga with
Betis.
And
was an Irishman.
Yeah, and he played
for Belfast,
Barcelona as well.
Yeah, he saved Barcelona actually. Did you know about this?
Yeah.
During the Franco era, the Spanish Civil War, O'Connell, this guy, took Barcelona to Mexico and it saved them because. Well, I can't remember the whole story because they were a Catalan club basically, and Franco was a Spanish nutcase. Basically, he was like, "Look, lads, we need to get out of the country." He took them out of the country, brought them to Mexico, Massive world tour, made loads of money, and Barcelona was survived.
Yeah. I think we can leave it on that note.
Actually,
Or do you want to say
shout out to the mighty Brøndby from Denmark. Opening day of the season, won 4-0 against Midtjylland. Copenhagen only drew. So currently Brøndby sit top of the table.
Oh, that's where the Michelin man comes from. Sorry, it was a really bad joke. You know the Michelin man? The tyre lad?
No.
Oh, how do you not know the Michelin man? Anyways. Oh, wait, we've got to mention one proper player that's signed for Chelsea.
Antonio Rudiger.
No. When,
Oh, yeah.
Chelsea, in their season of finishing 10th, they lacked balls. So they decided to sign a Willie to make sure that doesn't happen again. Fair play, Willie Caballero has now signed for Chelsea. I'm happy with that.
Yes, I
That's a very good sign. Like, as much people are like, oh, it's only Caballero, he's bad, he's past it. Good coach, can definitely get the best. Like, Courtois, I think, is as good as he is.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, he can still learn. And, especially, like, it'll keep Eduardo interested.
To be honest, Courtois is a bit of an arrogant SOB, so we probably be like, Caballero probably giving him great tips.
Caballero will probably play cup games.
Yeah, I hope he does. Because I want to get the goalkeeper.
Caballero's actually a good keeper.
I want to get the goalkeeper jersey with Caballero on the back.
If I was he's one of those players that's old, but I'd still take him. Like, I take Gomez as well. He's still a very good player. Like, if you've seen him, he had an unreal season with Watford.
Yeah.
But I think we leave it on that. Okay,
yeah,
I just want to get that last bit about Caballero. Thank you for listening this week. Whether I'm bothered to put up next week's one will be yet to see, but it probably will happen because it's the summer and I've got no excuses. Thanks for listening anyways. If you have enjoyed this video, I'd love to hear your comments down below about anything you want us to talk about next week. Let me know what your favourite transfers were of the transfer window so far and what team you think will do best next season. And again, thank you for listening. Bye.